Let's get into Cierra Ortega. One of the scariest things would be to go to a reality show and come back as the most hated person in the country. And that's what's happened to Cierra Ortega. She was on Love Island and people found out that she had been using a racial slur for years. She used a slur that is offensive towards Asian people, and she had used it since like 2015 on her posts. Production kicked her out of the show, and she had the harsh reality of realizing that everyone on social media was like threatening to unalive her, which is not acceptable. And now Cierra is doing everything in her power to go and try to walk back this bad reputation that she has. And of course, she's got to start off with an apology.
I know a lot of people have been waiting for me to speak up about the news that's come to light recently. And now that I've been back in the US for about 48 hours and I've had the chance to process, I now feel like I'm at a space where I can speak about this without being highly emotional because I am not the victim in this situation. While I was in the villa, there were some posts that resurfaced from my past where I was very naively using an incredibly offensive and derogatory term. And before I get into the details, I want to first start by addressing not just anyone that I have hurt or deeply offended, but most importantly, the entire Asian community. I am deeply, truly, honestly so sorry.
This comment reads, I feel like Yulissa isn't getting this type of hate. Another person writes, as an Asian, she took whole accountability and she apologized. I don't get the issue here. What else do you want her to do? Sell her soul? Another person writes, I'm over this cancel culture. Hold her accountable, but the vindictive hate is insane. God damn. One person writes, okay, calling ICE on her family is way too far. Now, Cierra does claim that when she had used this language, she had no ill intention. She is now apologizing again and again and again, and really there's some people who in the comments like, okay, we accept it, but some people will never. She ended her note by saying, I think that this is something that deserved punishment, and the punishment has absolutely been received. For sure. But unfortunately, Cierra just cannot help herself, because I found a TikTok that called her out for not using the same slur that she got in trouble for, but kind of a new one that she created. Take a look.
Literally, Cierra, you can't be this ignorant. Like, I swear to God. Using this term is not only derogatory to the African American community, but I can't speak on that. What I am going to speak on as an Arab woman is how the word rats is so offensive, especially to Palestinians, but also just the Arab community in general. Israelis use that term to talk down to us and tell us that we're not human, that we are animals, and that's totally fine to G-side us and get rid of us, and that we are worth nothing, basically. And I know you're going to say that, like, the Huda fans coined this term. That's absolutely fucking ridiculous. As someone who has been in the trenches of Love Island talk and Love Island Instagram, and I've been chronically online, as a Huda stan, I have never seen this word before today.
Now, things are starting to get really bad for Cierra and her family. She's getting these threats of people threatening to harm her and her family, which again is unacceptable. I can't believe that Instagram doesn't stop these messages from even going through. She's getting messages about them being unalived, about ICE coming out and deporting their family. Things that nobody should be threatening anybody with. So everyone needs to stop that. I mean, Love Island has already had 3 people who have unalived themselves from that show, so I would be careful. Let's get into Ghislaine Maxwell. Now, ever since the Chrisleys got pardoned, it seems like everyone's all excited that they're going to get their chance, and Ghislaine Maxwell is trying to ask Mr. Trump to pardon her. I mean, it does seem like they have a friendship, or at least they've been photographed in the same vicinity, so maybe he will give it to her. That would be the worst look ever.
Well, this was bound to happen. Ghislaine Maxwell is now willing to reveal the Epstein list, according to the Daily Mail. My question is, who told the press that she was willing to talk?
Now, like I said, maybe there's something that she knows that we do not know, but I can't imagine him doing this, at least not until the end of his presidency, because people are already asking him for the Epstein files. He's not giving them up because he's supposedly listed, so I don't think he wants any further association. Getting Ghislaine Maxwell out, that's not going to help his case. Let's get into Britney Spears. Recently, body cam footage was released of Britney Spears' interaction with the police after she lit up a cigarette on a flight. Britney Spears walked away feeling just fine after her chaotic flight back to LA from Mexico. Body cam footage shows Britney Spears' interaction with the cops, where sources say that she tried to light up the cigarette on a plane after it landed at LAX. It's hard to hear the audio, but the customs officer tells the newly arrived cop that Britney Spears was on the flight saying, "We get her all the time. Today, she's obviously not taking her medicine. She's been very compliant. She's very nice to me right now, so all good." But a little bit interesting that they say, "We get her all the time."
Helpers on the plane, they looped around and broke out. It's Britney Spears. We get her all the time. Today she obviously didn't take her meds. She seems very compliant, very nice. So to me right now it's all good.
Okay.
So
You want me to stand by or good?
I think just maybe follow the back.
Okay.
Thank you guys. Have a nice day. Thanks.
Got it.
Wait, I just had such a throwback. You guys may remember, if you've been watching my main channel for a while, there was a person I spoke to out one night when I first moved to LA, a very tall man who worked for the LA private plane, customs, and I'm pretty sure that was the guy that I had met before. I mean, they blurred his face and everything, but he's extremely tall, and he works for he's the top person there. And he told me at the time that Britney Spears comes through all the time, so that kind of sounds like the way that he speaks. Multiple sources claim that Britney was hitting the bottle on the plane, a pretty normal aircraft fare, before she tried to light up the cigarette on board. Once the plane landed, Britney got a stern talking to from authorities, but it looks like this must have happened before because this agent on the scene said that she's not stopping for an interview or an autograph here. But a really sad situation for Britney to be found in. I mean, I'm glad that she's at least out and living her life, but at least follow the law. We don't want to find Britney Spears behind bars. Let's get into Bella Thorne and Charlie Puth. Bella Thorne claims that Charlie Puth started a hate train because she wouldn't do the deed with him. She left this message in a comment on Instagram saying that Charlie lied to the entire world about me and started a hate train, all because I wouldn't hook up with him. Now, in a world of Diddy's, I don't think Charlie Puth wants to be in that category. In 2017, it looks like Charlie accused Bella of cheating after she broke up with Tyler Posey, which she fully denied. She said that basically Ty and I stopped dating. Charlie had been tweeting about me for a while. He was trying to reach out to me. I hung out with him twice. We went to the movies. He was cool. She added that the photos that came out of them kissing weren't actually them kissing. She clarified the situation to Tyler, who was fine with it. But Charlie hopped onto Twitter to imply that Bella hadn't broken up with Tyler when they went out. Charlie saw an old news article, she says, and he didn't look at the date, and the date is old, and it's about me and Ty. In Charlie's defense, when he read it, not reading the date, it sounded like it was about me and Ty still being together. He didn't even text me or talk to me about it, just went on to social media. Now, because Charlie is being called out, people are starting to go back on his past interviews, and a clip is going viral right now for all the wrong reasons.
We would be talking in the hotel. She'd be like, "You want to sleep over?" And I'd be like, "Yes, I'm gonna get it in." And then nothing would happen, which is totally fine. But after the fifth time of that happening, I knew what she was doing. I knew that she was trying to make me so embedded to her that I would never leave her, but I would never get what I wanted out of her. So she was doing that repeatedly just to get something out of me, which was for me to be attached to her hip at all times.
People on Twitter are defending Bella Thorne. This person writes, "It started with a studio invite. She thought it was business. He thought it was something else. Then she said no. He said nothing until Twitter said everything." Another person writes, "First Selena, now her. Oh, Charlie, you're over." Finally, this person writes, "Charlie Puth has always been a walking red flag. He's disgusting." Let's get into Diddy and Biggie's son. Now, this headline is disturbing. "You drove me to see Diddy where he stuffed his meat in my mouth. Now, there's a person accusing Diddy of tossing a semen-soaked shirt onto him, and he's also claiming that Diddy had a friend along with him, Biggie's son, CJ Wallace. According to the complaint, John Doe claims that Biggie's son was among the group of men who lured him into this place in 2020. It looks like it's a Revolt TV location where he claims that he was ambushed and led into another room where Diddy was waiting. He claims he was held by others and Diddy attempted to stuff his wiener into his mouth, all while they were screaming at him, saying that his days working for Bad Boy Records were over. It actually looks like this event was photographed and he claims that it was used as blackmail against him. He was then forced to ride home with the taste of Diddy's balls still lingering in his jaws, a traumatic experience. Right now, Diddy's team is currently focused on what had happened between him and the government, but he's still going to have to face all of these other lawsuits, including this one from John Doe, and who also implicates CJ Wallace. Let's get into Bryce Gray. Now, if you don't know who Bryce Gray is, he is a struggling actor who's not doing well. He's from the show Empire, and it seems like everyone from that show has been just kind of going through it. It looks like he's currently wanted by police because his friend and him got into a physical altercation, and his friend is actually pursuing charges just because they want him to be locked up to go and get the help he needs.
Besties, this till today is still one of the scariest transformations I've ever seen in my life. To go from this fine, young, rich, millions of followers, you know what I'm saying? You could start any business you want. You could do whatever you want. You are known around the world. Into this in a matter of years? Baby, this ain't just drugs. This is not just drugs. This is demonic possession.
This comment reads that his Twitter is wild. Poor Bryce Gray. Another comment reads, him and Amanda Bynes. Now, I've heard of dysfunctional people who they are sometimes better off like just getting off of the streets, at least because they need that help. But unfortunately, our justice system is not set up to actually help people. And it's interesting because we hear this case about John Doe, and at the same time, we have these statements from Jaguar Wright, who kind of makes an assumption that possibly Bryce Gray was harmed by people in the industry, which kind of led him down this mental illness road.
The Bashir conversation for me is not easy. They're trying to let him out so he'll feel too embarrassed to file his lawsuit against Diddy for what Will and Diddy did to him. With Jaden and Justin present, that tape exists.
Thank you for watching this clip from the Let's Get Into It podcast. To view the full episode, visit the link listed below.